Morning guys, it's Dean at Barrow Buddies again. We've got another questions and answers session this week. Just trying to go over all the comments that's been left to me during the week, and we're going to try and answer them to the best of our ability and hopefully solve your problems today. But remember, I'm not just here for questions and answers, so if any of you guys have got a problem with your Barrow, any make, any model, just give me a bell on 07808 048 513 and I'm sure we can get the problem sorted, whether it's in-house or we can send it to you. So don't hesitate, any problem, just give me a bell. So I think we get started today because we've had a lot of questions off you, and let's fire away. I've got Dave from Dimchurch. Should I buy a hub power conversion kit? Well, Dave, it's another one of them subjects that's a bit dodgy, because there's a lot of scam artists out there that's selling cheap Chinese crap that anyone can buy straight off the shelf, going onto these Chinese websites that come with no guarantee. So be very careful if you're buying. I'm not saying they're all bad out there. Just have a look and make sure you can try before you buy. Make sure you're buying off of is a recommended manufacturer that actually deals with them, has got great feedback and has got a good returns policy. Make sure you've got that year's returns, because you've got to be very careful, because if you're buying something and it's just a fly-by-night eBay merchant that's selling you it, and within 2 months he's not even going to be there, you may have spent £400 or £500 and you're not going to get your money back. So be very careful on that front. Going back to the product itself, I mean, being the ex-carport engineer, over the years I did pull apart about 20 of these hub motor units from various factories throughout China and Shanghai. I was never pleased with what I saw inside. I mean, the quality of the plugs and the wires were very thin, very bit like what you find on like a Scalextric's car. So I didn't think they was going to last. I'm not saying there ain't a company out there that does one now, because I haven't tested or looked at the latest products at the moment, but I'm just going by previous experience. They're not all they're cracked up to be. They may be fast off the line, but if you see one there and look at the power, it's wheel spinning, etc., don't be fooled by that. Always put on the amount of gear you're going to take, whether it's 50, 60, 70, 80 plus kilos. Ask to put that on the Barrow and go up a hill with it and just test the power of it. Make sure it's got enough grunt, because I found the ones that I tried were more like the old 12 volts carport we used to do. They had a bit of grunt. That was okay if you was on a flat surface, but if you was getting to really hilly venues that, you know, needed quite a bit of steep pushing with a push barrow, and you're going over the power barrow, they would bottom out and they wouldn't get up it, and you had to push and help them. So if you're after something that's just going to trundle up any hill, and obviously stick with the carport range, because you know they've got the grunt. Obviously these conversions are half the price, but there is a reason for that, because obviously the parts that's used are not up to the same scratch as the others. There may be one out there that is up to scratch. I don't know. I'm not caning any company or anything. I'm just saying be careful. Try before you buy. It's like if you go and buy a car, you wouldn't buy it without a test drive or literally seeing a person drive it with you sitting in the passenger seat. So do the same with your Barrow. If you're testing it and you're finding it's doing exactly what you want it to do, and it's a great price, then if it helps you, buy it. But just don't be led in just by people's writing or feedback. Test it for yourself. I mean, there's only one person to blame if you go wrong then, and that's yourself. So just go by your own point of view, and if it does the job that you require, then purchase it. I mean, like I say, I've pulled apart numerous amounts of them, and I've never found them to have quite the power that we really need. They do help, and I mean, if surfaces are pretty flat with little wheels, you're going to be fine with it. But if you're the extreme angular that takes everything, including the kitchen sink, and you're going up hills of this sort of gradient quite often, then I don't think they're going to be up to the job. I mean, unless there is one out there that can prove me wrong, then there may be, I don't know. But like I say, just try before you buy. Be careful, because you don't want to buy off someone as well that's just someone off eBay that's bought a cheap thing off of China for about £150, and he's just flogging it on, trying to make an extra few bob. And he's got no background. He's not going to cover a year's warranty, because probably in 2 months he's not even going to be there. So do a bit of research into who you're buying from, what you're buying, and I'm sure if they've got a good product that really does do the job, then they're going to let you try it, because they're going to want to boast the fact that their product is good. So, you know, if they're willing to do that, then go ahead and do it. But other than that, all I'm saying to you is just be careful. All right, I hope that helped, Dave. I have a Nash Barrow with the clamp brackets on the front and side bars. When fully loaded, they don't hold, even when they're clamped shut. Is there any way I can sort this out to get more grip? I've never liked the clamp brackets, I've got to admit, Jack. I always went against them because of that reason. Obviously, when they're brand new, you clamp them up, they hold nice and tight. But after a few months of use, that plastic does wear, and under a heavy load, if you've got 60-70 kilos pushing on that side bar, they will slide out slowly, and this gradually gets worse and worse. You can try and build up the bar so it clamps and makes a stronger grip, but it is very difficult, because with whatever you're putting on the bar, when you push it in the slide bar, it tries to pull back. So if you've got any form of tape, in time it's not really going to hold that well. So your best bet is get them to the distance, the width. If you don't adjust, and you don't need to adjust, and you're always sticking at the same width, get the dead right width that you need, and just bolt them. Just run a bolt. Obviously, you don't want to do too big with a bolt, something like a 6mm, nut and bolt either side, put them through. You're not going to be able to slide them in and out anymore, but if they're at the desired width that you always use, then just lock them off. I mean, other than that, it's just bearing with it, and maybe putting a bungee strap around the whole thing just to hold it, so it's going to give it a little bit more tension and stop them sliding out. So there's not really a lot you can do with that, Jack, apart from like I've just said, mate. So I hope that helped a bit. Right, I've got Lloyd from Canvey Island. I'm about to order a new Pro Drive box from Carporter, as mine only works in reverse. When I get this, can you fit this? I can fit it, Lloyd. I will fit it free of charge if you used to have any sort of wheel alignment or service off me. So, you know, I can do it that way, or I can just fit it for a small charge. It's up to you, mate. So, yeah, just give us a bell when you're ready, when you've got the box, and bring it down to us. It's not a long job to fit the box. It's about 10 minutes, mate. And we can go from there. I have a Mark 8 power porter, and my middle cable is getting squashed flat where all my tackle sits on the top. I'm worried it's going to break. Is there any way over this? That is quite a common question there, Lee, because obviously that wire's placed there because it goes across where the leg folds up. I mean, if you don't fold your leg up to put it in the car and you're in like a van, then by all means take the cable ties off and reroute that cable on the side out of the way. But if you was to break your Barrow down and you fold your back leg to get it in the car, then it's really got to stay there, because anywhere else where you put it, when that leg folds back down, it acts as like a guillotine, and it's going to cut through your wires and shear it off. That's why it is actually placed there. I mean, my one now is probably about 7 years old, and it is flat, but it's never stopped working. It's only like an outed armoured casing that goes around the wire that's flattening. The wires inside are perfectly fine. I mean, if you are really worried about it going flat, then just wrap something around it. I mean, even like a little small kid's flannel or something, wrap around it, or a bit of padding, anything, and then just like put a couple of cable ties on it just to give it that cushion. But I don't really think it's an issue. I think you're worrying over something that's probably never going to happen unless you've got really sharp tackle that you're putting on it. Then by all means, you know, be very wary over this. But just play it by ear, mate. Like I said, if it's you're fixed, you never put it down, just reroute it. If you don't, put a bit of padding over it, mate, and I'm sure it'll be fine. Mark from the Isle of Wight. My Mark 4S Evo keeps tipping. How do I stop this? I have mentioned this on a previous video on Mark, where it's basically the way you load it. Because you've got the back wheels, try and put your heavy items over the back, centralise the weight rather than over the front wheel. Other than that, I have got a new product what I'm bringing out soon. It's going to be like a stabiliser bar, which will work off your existing wheels. So you still have your existing wheels, then you have a little bar with like a little steady wheel, stabiliser wheel, one either side. So if you was to tip, it would hit the wheel, bounce back up, you know, stop your tipping and save your gear. So subscribe to our site, join, like and share, get your 10% Barrow Buddies discount. And you'll be informed of all latest products as soon as they come out on the market, and then you'll be able to purchase one off me, mate, and you'll stop tipping. So I hope that answered your question. Tina from Rivenal, I have a Triporter Mark II and it always runs left. Can this be sorted? Common question, Tina, common question. As you know, I can align your wheel, bring it down to me, we can sort it out for a small charge, about £30. Obviously, if you wanted to service, it'd be a bit more. There are loads of Barrows, loads of different people have asked me, different makes, what models and makes can we wheel align here at Barrow Buddies. So I'm going to give you a list of the ones off the top of my head that I think, you know, what I know we can adjust here and get your wheel sorted so you're running straight. So I'll go through the list. We do an extreme 24 volt, a Mark 8 24 volt, Mark 7, Mark 6, Mark 5. We do a Fat Boy Power Porter, Mark 2 Power Porter, standard Big Boy, Mark 2 Triporter, Evo Mark 4S, Fat Boy, Sabre Terrain, Fox Explorer, Foxer R Series and FX, Corum, Nash Trax, Evo, KNX, Metro, Tracker, X-Trail, Galaxy, Signet Sniper. If you've got any of them Barrows, they all use the push-on type wheel with the 2 thumb screws. We can align the wheel for a small charge of £30. So I hope that answers quite a few of the questions I've had this week on that matter. And if there's any Barrow I haven't mentioned on that list, just give me a bell. I'll do a bit of research on it and we'll see if we can do that one as well. So hope that helps, guys. We've got Troy from Ipswich. My Mark 6 Power Porter is in a mess. Can you fix? Please look at the pictures. We weren't wrong there, Troy. It is a bit of a mess. Christ, what have you been lifting with it? An elephant? Yeah, you've got a snapped back part of your frame. I can sort that out. I've done one like that the other week, funny enough, and that's not a problem. You've got splits on the handles. We can weld that. You will. Well, it looks by the picture that you could do with realigning and fixing because it's a bit battered. Yeah, we can do all that, mate. Get it all sorted, sprayed up. Just give me a bell, arrange an appointment, bring it down, and we can get that sorted for you, Troy. Dean from Merseyside. My front bar has bent down. Do you sell new ones? Sorry, Dean, don't sell any products. Your best bet is to go to Carport Calder. Have a word with them and see if they've got a new one. Other than that, I mean, I don't know if you've got the aluminium one or the steel one. If you've got the steel one, you'll probably be able to pull it completely out, get a mallet and just bang it straight again and put it in. It's obviously not going to be as strong as it first was, but you know, it probably lasts a little while till you can get another one. If it's aluminium, you can do the same, but obviously aluminium's a bit softer, and if the aluminium's creased, it's going to be fairly weak, but you can bang them flat and put them back in and see how you go with that. Other than that, mate, it's literally buying yourself a new one. They do sell them as spares probably on the Carport website, so go on there, Dean. I hope that helps, mate. I've got Stan from Walton. My valve has gone back into my tower on my Power Porter. It's my own fault. It was a bit flat. I never put air in and it's finally popped in, and now I can't put air in it because I can only see the very top of it stuck inside. Can you help? Stan, yeah, you should service your Barrow. Always keep your pressure up. I know that's not helping now, so we're going on to the matter that's here now. If you can see the top of the valve, get yourself a little thin Phillips screwdriver or something. Just manoeuvre it in there. Try and get it so it's just comes level with a hole again, and it might, where it's got air still in the tyre, pop itself back out. If it pops out a little bit and you can just see a little rim of the thread, get yourself a pair of mole grips or pliers. Don't crush too heavy because you're going to bend up your thread and you're not going to be able to put your pump on if it's a screw one. So even if you put a cloth around the end of it, and when you squeeze it, so you don't try and do damage to the end of it, pull it up. When you've got it up, hold it with a pair of pliers at the bottom, then get your valve or your pump on while you're still holding it with the pliers. Screw that on, then you obviously, when the valve bit's on, it's not going to go back in itself, and you can put that bit of air back into it, pump it back up, and when it's pumped up hard, it's going to hold that valve, so it's not going to slide back into itself. I mean, if you can't get it out and it's gone past where you can't even see it, then I'm afraid you're going to have to take the battery tray side off, undo the end of the axle, and take that side off and pull that side of the tyre off, and then just re-push it in with your finger. When you got that side of the tyre off, re-put the tyre back on and box it back up. It is a job we can do in-house, but you know, it is a job you may probably be able to do yourself, mate. So hopefully you'll just get a screwdriver in there, pop it back out, pull it with the pliers like I said, and it will sort you back out, mate. I hope that helped. Jake from Stratford. I have a Fox Explorer and my back leg has snapped. Do you do welding? Yes, we do, Jake. As I've mentioned on a few other videos, any type of welding, anywhere on your Barrow, we can weld it up, sort it, get it sprayed, get it looking back nice again. So just kiss a call, Jake. We'll get it sorted, mate. I've got Kelly from Cambridge. My extreme handles are very low. I think I've bent them. How do I sort this out? Before we go on regards to sorting it out, Kelly, it's probably where you're trying to tip the Barrow with the top main handle. It's not a great idea on the extreme, because if you was trying to move on the spot or turn vigorously right or left, that's what the second handle is for, because that it will take the weight a lot better than bending down on them top ones, which can cause this if you've got an extreme weight on the front. So if you're ever in the future, use your second handle. It's going to help you out and stop this happening in the first place. But it has happened. So on regards to strengthening them, as I've said before, any steel, if you've creased it or it's gone past the point of its strength, it's going to be very weak, and even if you bend it back, it's going to keep bending back in time. So you can bring it down, and I could put like an angle strengthener in it, which would stop this situation if the steel has got weak. But other than that, it's trying to purchase yourself a new set of the hockey sticks, but I don't think you'd be able to buy them separate. They'd come in like a handle kit, so you'd have to buy the complete new handle. So you know, Kelly, learn from our mistakes. If you do get a new one, just try the way you're using it. Just if you're doing extreme lifting like that, use a second handle. Hope that helps. We've got Brandon from Bishop Stortford. My big boy wheel goes really right, but when looking at the frame, one of the bits that you slide the wheel on is split and it keeps moving. I think this is why it's going wonky. Well, it definitely is, Brandon. If you've got a split spigot coming off your frame, you're never going to keep that wheel alignment straight. The spigot needs to be ground down, re-welded up and sorted out. Then the wheel needs to be realigned, because obviously when you weld something, it gets hot and you get the cooling down movement, and you never can tell exactly where it's going to cool down to what point. So it gets welded, left a little while to cool down naturally. Then we'll put it on the jig, realign the spigots and get you all sorted again. But there's no way you're going to hold a straight line with a snap spigot at all. It has got to be sorted, because if you use it again, more than likely, it's going to rock them backwards and forwards a couple of times, and it's just going to snap off. So, and then you do real damage, mate. So you need to get that addressed, Brandon, and get it sorted. So give me a bell. Get it booked in, we'll weld it back up, align it for you, mate. It's not going to cost you a fortune. I mean, what with the welding and the alignment, you're looking at about, I don't know, 50, 60 quid with spraying back up. So it's not the end of the world there, mate. Get it done before it does you. Cheers, mate. Right, we've got Stephen from Brightlingsea. My handle thumb screws, the heads have come off. Now I just have 2 threads on show and I can't tighten them up. Right, Stephen, what it is, on your handle bits on most of the frames, the knobs consist of 2 parts. They're a head and a thread. It's not every knob on the frame, it's only on certain ones. It's just to stop vibrations, and it's never ever going to come out, because it's like a two-piece locking knob that you can't take all the way out. Your glue's obviously gone on the ends of them, or they've been tightened or untightened too vigorously and they've come off. If you still have the heads, the only way you're going to use them threads without damaging them is to get your heads, put a bit of Loctite metal thread locker glue on the threads inside the head, screw them back onto your thread to the point of where they just nip tight, leave them for 24 hours, come back when the glue's set, and you should be able to undo your thumb screws. I mean, if you've had something on there, a pair of mole grips, you've damaged all the thread, etc., then the knobs need to come out. I mean, on them type knobs, you'll see a hole on the opposite side of the frame. The knob actually comes out the opposite way to you think. It doesn't come out of the open end where you screw it. It will come out the other end and go right through the bar, through that little hole on the opposite side. Is where they're in two bits, there's that channel that's going to stop it. So if you try and undo it the natural way that your brain tells you it's going to come out, it's never going to come out, because there's like a channel, it will lock at the end. So don't force it. I've had that many people try and force them out of a pair of mole grips, damaged them, bent them to buggery, you know, just trying to get them out when they're literally going the wrong way. So go the opposite way you think and they will come out. I mean, if you have damaged them and you get them out, just put 2 normal thumb screws in it. M8 thumb screws will be the size. Just put them in there. They don't need to be the anti-falling out ones, and it will get you out of trouble. I mean, if you can't do it, get a belt, bring it down. We can sort it out for you, mate. It won't take long. So I hope that helps, mate. Right, that's the end of the questions this week, guys. I hope I've answered all your questions. And some of you have got a few answers that's put a smile on your face, some haven't, but that's the way it goes, I'm afraid. All I'm letting you know is from next week, I go away on my sunny holiday abroad. Can't wait. So I won't be here for 2 weeks, so I won't be back until the 27th of August, and then we're all back to normal. I can get sorting out any servicing or repairs. So, I mean, you still can leave messages. I wouldn't suggest you ringing my mobile number as from next week. I do get unlimited minutes abroad, but you don't want to be sending me pictures, getting charged, etc. So, if you do need to send me anything, just do it through Facebook or through WhatsApp or, you know, Messenger. Then there's going to be no charges whatsoever. Don't do it through your mobile number or text message. We've all got to get away and relax and have a break, and I think I'm due one. It's been a while, what with COVID, etc. So, like I say, I'm still going to be answers. I'll be sitting around a pool. I might be half drunk, but I can still answer some of the questions if you send me any by messenger. So keep them coming. But back to normal on the 27th, guys. So remember, join Barrow Buddies. If you're not a member already, subscribe, like and share. You get that 10% discount. Any questions you want answering that I haven't covered this week, keep them coming. I'm sure we can answer anything that comes up. Sure, we can repair any problem and sort out anything. So I hope you have a good week, boys, and a nice weekend, and all the best. And I'll see you in the next edition in a couple of weeks. Bye for now.